Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on division. Now the key instruction in the question is always in the blue box and it says complete the division. So here is the division sum. There are two boxes here and here, so one at the top and one at the bottom, and these two boxes here need to be completed and filled in, and this will give you 2 marks in the exam, and you need to know what the answers are in here, 1 mark for each box. So to help you work this out, you need to work through the division. So work through the question as you would do a normal division. I would recommend using long division, but it will work with short division. I'm going to show you how to do it with long division. So if you're going to use a method, I would recommend the long division. I'll show you where it's all coming from and how to get these answers in here. But just work through in order, in normal, and then you should be able to work out what goes here. Press pause, write down the question, have a go at working out the answer, and then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Fantastic work. So hopefully you've managed to come up with some answers here and worked out what goes in the boxes. The first box is easier to do than the one underneath. So we're going to start off by looking at our 12 times table because we're going to be dividing by 12. You should be familiar with the 12 times table, but I've just written down the first few numbers of the 12 times table that we're going to need in this question to help us if you are not so confident with your 12 times table. So we're now looking at 12 into 4, which doesn't go. So we've now got to do 12 into 43. So 12 into 43, if you look down here, you can see 36, 48. 48 is too big, 36 is too small. So it fits in 1, 2, 3 times exactly, which is the number that goes at the top. And this will give you 1 mark for getting the number 3 in there. It went in 3 times 12 was 36. So we now have to subtract these numbers to work out the difference. So we can't do 3 take away 6. We have to borrow from before. So I'm going to cross it out and make it a 3. Then I've got a 10 in here. So I've got 13 take away 6, which is 7. Then I've got 3 take away 3, which is 0. So I've got the number 7. Now 12 obviously doesn't fit into 7 because otherwise it would have been carried on into this number here. So we have to bring down the 6. So we're now into 76. So you can see here 72 is just beneath 76. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, which is this number up here that's already written in there. So I need to write 72 underneath. And again, I'm going to subtract them. 6 take away 2 is 4. 7 take away 7 is 0. Now I can't do 12 into 4 again, so I need to bring this number down here, but we don't know what this number here is. That's what we've got to work out. But we know that when we do 12 into this number, the answer has got to be 4. Okay, then it's got a remainder 1, so this R means remainder 1. So I've got 4 times remainder 1. So we're looking at 12 times by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 12 times 4 is 48. So if it went in 4 times exactly, it would be 48 here. But I've got a remainder 1, which means I need to add an extra 1 to give me 49. So the number that appears at the top is going to be a 9. If I do 4 times 12, that gives me 48. I'm just going to carry on to show you why it works. Then when I subtract them, 9 take away 8 gives me 1, which is my remainder 1. 4 take away 4 is 0, which is irrelevant. We don't need to really worry too much about that. But this remainder 1 is the number underneath. This is really important example here with this remainder here, showing you how it works. Because if you go on to do A-level maths, if you get really good at maths, this remainder here, you'll be looking at quotients, you'll be looking at remainders, you're looking at divisors, and you'll have to do all this algebraically, which at this stage here, you're a long way away from. But when you come on to do much harder maths, this is the very good principle as to what happens. So it's a really good example to know how it works. Give yourself a big tick if you got this correct. Great work, well done. But this is the key concept for what you need to do in higher level maths much later on. So well done if you managed to get it correct. The mark scheme on this question shows the answer is 3 and 9, and there's 1 mark for each box completed correctly, and up to 2M, which means up to 2 method marks. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe, and tell your friends so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.